And deep fry them in a turkey fryer, and oh my gosh, they're good.
Little nuggets.
Yeah.
Best thing you can do is take them catfish and put them in a swimming pool.
I mean, there's cheaper things to put on
They're
the
all
beef
white.
on
Yep,
beef called
and then eat 'em.
handled than peanut
We used to
butter.
do bank lines
That's messy.
until we had,
That's
until
better.
we
I
had
don't know
like
if that's
4
better than
snapping
windshield or not. I
turtles
was
one
gonna
night,
say it
then
could
we're
be
done
worse.
with
Oh, yeah.
I think they do back.
I wouldn't want it anywhere.
Them turtles are
I
nasty.
mean,
Tried
I've
to
had
get
people
head
throw,
turtles,
I had
and you deal
people
with
throw
one
eggs
and you
on
think
my
you're doing
porch,
okay,
and
and
you
then
know
you're
they had to
pulling
go
it out,
up
here
on
comes
the
the second
porch
one trying
to
to
do
take
They got a
that.
really
I
good
mean,
arm. You're
not
wasting
I mean,
around.
up on the yard, not up on the porch.
Snap turtles
Yeah,
are good
yeah, they had to
eating,
go
supposedly.
up in the yard, yeah, because if
Getting
they got,
close.
because
I don't know.
All five would tell you they were.
I've heard they're
I
good.
know you don't.
It looks like an awful
I
lot
don't
of
know
work
what this
for a
is,
little
but-
bit of.
I know.
I'm not eating them.
Because
He offered
it was
some to
peanut
us once,
butter,
and I said.
it was jelly on the front one, peanut butter on the back one, and it was the same way on the other side. So they didn't do it together.
Barry, how
they
you
did
doing
them
tonight?
All right, Bill's meeting order.
separate.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Hippie, Fry,
Present?
Troller,
Here,
Hughes,
Present.
I heard ya. Bikeman, Price,
present.
Barons,
Present.
Prom,
Present.
7. With quorum.
All right, first up, we have approval of the minutes. Do you
Move,
have any?
move to approve the regular minutes, March 22nd, 2021.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Next up, we have public comment. Is anybody here for public comment? Okay, next up, we have on business and discussion items. First up is Aidan Price with the 2021 MHS Prom Walk.
Is this on? Yep.
Yep.
Good evening, everybody. I'm back. I'm Aidan, in case you forgot. Last time I was here, you guys approved everything that I asked for, and you asked me to get a list of vehicles. So I did that. I figured I'm going to try and make this enjoyable for everybody that's attending. So everybody except I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that want to drive non-street legal vehicles. Otherwise, everybody else, it should be street legal. I have 3 people that want to drive golf carts. And I can give you who wants to drive what if you want. One person wants to drive a 50cc mini bike, which is sort of like a moped. Yeah. And then someone wants to drive a 1952 Model A John Deere tractor. And then a kid wants to drive his homemade dirt track race car. So I told him that I'd bring it to you guys, and you guys would approve what you approve.
Move to approve the Pro Walk as presented.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Just tell him no burnouts or anything with that race car.
Yeah, I made that very clear to him.
Otherwise, he's ticketed. Rest of them I don't have a problem with.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, 7-0.
Thank you. Have a nice night, guys.
Take care, Aidan.
Okay, next up is review of the pool wages.
We included a couple things in here. The first side is comparing our pool wages to other pools. I also threw in there at the bottom of Walmart's website said the minimum they're paying was $11. And then on the back side, on page 8, I did an analysis of what each raise would cost. So 50 cents, 75 cents, $1, $1.50, $2, just for your consideration, seeing where you guys wanted to land. After some analysis, we think one thought was to raise the concession stand. When you compare our concession stand to other concession stands, $7.25 compared to $8.25, and, looks like that's the minimum, well, cause to work concessions, you have to be a lifeguard elsewhere, but, it's just, you might wanna bump that up just a little bit, maybe, to make it a little bit more competitive, because concessions are important too. But, depends on how you look at it,
They also do admissions.
right? They do
Concessions
admissions.
people do your admissions. so you
Concessions and
understand it.
admissions, yes.
Yes.
So the 17 lifeguards, do we have enough is that all we're gonna
Absolutely.
need?
Plus,
So-
we have 2 assistants and 2 co-managers, yes. That's more than we've had for quite a while.
So we will have morning swim then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Just making sure, because I've
Yep.
seriously asked about that by several people.
Is there any way to put one person on morning swim? So we know we have the right age, and I know that it's always done.
Ideally, that's the way we wanna go. I forget if she's asked for people who wanted to do morning swim.
She did, but I don't know what the results were, because only half the kids came to the meeting on this last Saturday, the other half comes on this Saturday.
Yeah, they were all finalizing their certifications.
This where it shows the 2019 pool hours worked and what the raise would,
Yep.
entail. Is that including everyone,
That's all the hours worked. So
including
it-
concessions?
Yes, including concessions.
You know, honestly and truly, our lifeguards, the first year were $8, everybody else is 8.25. But, and I noticed another thing, we do pay for them lifeguards certification. That's a pretty good chunk of money that the city of Marysville pays for to make sure, and we don't ask anything of them to sign a contract or anything. They can work 1 year and be gone.
I thought they had to work 2 years if we paid
No.
for their.
No.
No, we talked about doing that.
And we're told a contract with a minor is,
Yeah.
So with that being said, I do not believe we need to raise the lifeguards' wages.
Well, I'll give a counterpoint. Compared to these other towns, with the exception of Beatrice, where else are those kids gonna work in those towns? We've got actual competition for these kids, and I say this as a kid who has a pretty strong swimmer, but who's not old enough to be a lifeguard. She's like, boy, that'd be fun, but I can make more money almost anywhere else.
But you're giving them an end-of-the-year bonus on that too, plus you're
Yeah.
paying for their lifeguarding. These other places, they're paying for it out of their pocket.
Kevin, you have kids. Are they gonna think about what the end of the year bonus is looking like?
They
or all
gotta
those
get it
things?
first.
They gotta get it first.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm with Todd. And I'll be honest, the first year and second year, I'd bump the lifeguards up 25 cents and I'd leave the rest of it alone. If you wanna talk about concessions, then we can talk about concessions. That's truly where I'm at, cause at least that brings you in line with,
Yeah, I'm
Everybody
inclined
else.
to go to the even full 50, just to make it that much more competitive, and because otherwise, in a year or 2 years, we're gonna have this conversation again. And that kind of buys us a little bit of time, but that's my perspective on it.
We did have a couple towns ask me that if we're gonna raise it, they need to know, because they're struggling to get guards, and we have a bunch. And they even asked if they could share some of ours. Just so you know,
We can contract them out, and
well, we're not, see,
Just saying.
What's certification costing us each year?
isn't it like, is it $225?
It was $225 earlier. I am not positive if it's that again this year or more.
But
It's
how
at
many-
least $225.
how many are we paying for?
Well, at least 6 this year.
Okay.
I know, I saw a picture on Facebook that 4 kids had passed.
Yep, they weren't here yep. Mhm. And then we also pay for their recertification if they need to be recertified.
Which is still $100 and some dollars.
Right, and if
And
you're the
that's a-
manager, we pay for you to go to pool school, and if you're,
So these people, we're putting a pretty good chunk of money in them to turn around and then go ahead and give them a raise on top of all this.
yeah, but I think reinforcing that we care, reinforcing that we want them to come back, and And I mean, the pool's a valuable amenity that,
Every year, we give them a quarter raise when they come back. They
Oh,
all know it. We've been doing
Well,
that for 10 years or better.
Here's the thing, I made minimum wage when I was 16, 25 years ago, and it was only $3 less than this. Of course, I was doing something a lot more miserable than that, but I don't know, I'm inclined that 50 cents isn't that big of a jump, and it just shows that, I mean, I understand money's money, but in the scheme of things, if you want another rationale before it, it's this. These kids aren't gonna save a lot of this money, they're gonna spend it, and they're gonna spend it in our local economy. So, for every turn of that 50 cents, it's gonna bring back more money into the economy. I mean, if you want other rationalizations, it's true, those kids aren't gonna save it, they aren't gonna pay down debt. That's the best kind of economic spending. I move we put it 50 cents an hour across the board, raise.
Second that. If you wanna watch it run smooth, you keep it oiled.
50
Hey,
cents.
Kevin, I wanna compare it to, who pays for your CDL physical every 2 years?
I do.
What's that?
Does Temps pay for your physical?
No. I
You pay
do.
for it?
I pay for that. I pay for my, physical. I pay for my driver's license.
Even to renew?
Even to renew. Yes, I do. I get no perks where I'm at on that.
I gotta take time off from work to go get my driver's license.
I do too.
I get mine paid for, so I
So-
mean, that's about in the same boat.
That's crummy, you should talk to somebody.
Well, that's why I said, you can take the horse to water, but you can't make it drink, so.
I see both points. I'm not gonna fight you on the 50 cent, I was just trying to do it a
I
little
mean,
different.
If the job criteria is to be certified. I
We
mean,
used to
shouldn't
make
we
them
pay
years ago be certified on their own, and they had to pay the $225. Your wife was working here when that happened,
Right.
so, now we're picking it up.
I don't know. I just see it, if I compare it to getting a physical for a CDL, which I don't have to pay for, the company pays for it, so, I don't know.
But Sonic and Taco Bell pay more than this, so, I mean, I don't, who knows where these kids are gonna stay either. They might be signed up now, but are they gonna stay?
Plus, I mean, maybe we'll get 30 applicants next year and we'll actually have to cut it down a little. Wouldn't hurt anybody's feelings to be able to get the cream of the crop, right?
You'd have less overtime.
Oh, that's true as well.
We don't pay overtime at
That's
the
right.
pool, it's
Overtime.
seasonal,
I forgot about that.
doesn't matter.
Seasonal.
Yep.
That's been a complaint before.
I think we need to give them at least a quarter more. I don't know about 50 cents, but I think we need to go at least a quarter.
Well, the motion was for 50
I
cents.
know, I
and the
realize
second,
that, so.
I mean, unless they wanna change it, otherwise I'd say we have a vote on that, and then
Yep,
if it doesn't
right.
pass, then you discuss less. Any more discussion? We take a vote?
What was the motion?
For 50 cents across the board, I think.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, that's for the assistant managers and for manager and assistant managers, or just everybody? That's everybody?
Everybody.
As presented, everybody.
Okay.
Alright. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
You the only, okay. 6-1.
Stick to my principles, Todd.
Okay. Next up, we have the Mother's Day Market and Big Blue Barbecue request.
Good evening, council.
Hello.
Okay, I'm Kate Tomer. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the director for Chamber and Main Street, and I'm here representing the Mother's Day Market and the Big Blue Barbecue. Was there anything that you guys had questions or concerns about in the paperwork?
Yes, but I gotta find it.
For which one?
Mother's Day Flea Market.
Okay.
Yeah, here it is. Next page. This year, the barbecue will drive-through, will carry out, will be drive-through or carry-out only due to COVID-19. We asked the city to set up the tent at 7th and Elm on Thursday or Friday of that week. Why do we need a 40 by 80 tent for drive-through and carry-out?
Well, we will have the Van Lanham,
They've never used a
barbecuers.
tent before, they've always cooked outside the tent. There's nothing going underneath the tent, there's no seating under it like there's been in the past.
I think the main concern was the heat and trying to make sure that everybody was kind of, I don't know, to weather.
I can get you
The
4
workers.
pop-up tents and do the same thing.
Oh, I don't know, it's pop-up tents, you can't hardly put 4 people under one.
Okay,
And they-
Todd.
They don't cover much.
We got 18 hours putting it up, taking it down for a drive-through,
Well,
carry-out
wait a minute,
event.
wait a minute. Austin, how long does it take to put it up and take it down?
That's a good question.
2 hours, so you take.
How many guys?
I'm working on that. Let's see, 8 guys, at least. At least 8 guys.
So that's 16 hours.
16
So
hours.
you got
Up and then
32
down.
hours of taking it up and putting it down.
If they're just driving through.
And it's not against you guys, Kate, understand that. It's for a drive-through carry, if you're putting people underneath it, not a problem.
Yeah.
I totally understand a 40 by 80. You understand that we have to look at it as 32 hours of labor.
Correct,
And like I said, if we were eating under it and had tables and chairs,
right?
I'd put it up in a heartbeat. But we're just doing drive-through and carry-out, I don't think we need to go the expense of having our city personnel
And-
put the tent up and tear it down.
And I'll give you my argument for it, after looking at it. We couldn't spare a guy to open the city dump, but we could spare 32 hours of labor to put up a tent. And, I mean, if they need some help with pop-ups,
You know my rationale on it? Last year, we spent all that time in the city park beautifying it, putting trash barrels out, getting the tent up and all that, and who puts it up? Not the street crew, it's the parks crew. How many of you guys got chewed on after Mother's Day because the cemetery looked nasty? The grass was tall, everything. I just assumed that cemetery looked nice as well as downtown in the park. You know, you take 32 hours away from there, it shows.
Is there anyone else who can do it? If you still wanna go that way, or?
I don't know. I don't know who normally, is it the parks crew that normally does it?
It's a combination.
It's a joint effort.
It's a joint effort, based on
Who's available?
who's available.
Exactly.
And the park's a big undertaking to get it ready for that event. I mean, so's their other property,
Sure.
and that's my concern with it.
Other than that, I don't have a problem with the rest of it. It's the
No,
only thing I
it's-
have a problem with.
Okay.
Is it, Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Terry?
is a possibility, we're not gonna have people underneath it eating, but could it be that if it was a rain day, could the people cooking be under it?
Well, I think that's what it sounds like part of the reasoning was if you set it up and then depending on the weather, then you could use it for people to go underneath there, depending on what they were doing.
Well, it might save the day if it's up for people to get out of the rain.
Yeah.
So do we own the tent?
We own the tent.
We own it,
No.
don't we?
Mayor's
No.
we do not own
The
the
car show owns a tent.
Yes.
But I'm
We do
here to
not
tell
own the
you,
tent.
when all my scouting events, when you take a tent out and you put a food cooker like they have underneath that tent,
They're not gonna put the food cooker
and
on.
I'm telling you, if it's raining and that happens,
Yeah.
You
that
don't have a
smell
tent.
will never come out of that material. Ever, ever.
Well, it's not necessarily a bad smell.
It'll just smell like a barbecue. Who cares?
Okay, and was that all for the Mother's Day market?
Mhm.
Okay, and then the Big Blue Barbecue, or Big Blue River Days.
I don't see any problems with the Big Blue River Days.
I think the main things that was highlighting were the street blockages, which has stayed the same the last few years at least. And then, that the council approved the consumption of beer, in the barbecue and, car show corridors. And then, requesting permission again to put a green bin structure so we could sell beer and,
Right, and you guys will do that by the wristbands again, right?
correct, yep,
And everything's in you guys' name,
correct,
not the city's.
Right.
correct.
It's not our event.
Yep, and we'll go through the state with that, making sure that we dot our i's.
But we do need a motion from you guys saying that you approve the liquor. We
Yeah,
have to
I'd
have
say-
that separate,
Yeah.
that it was approved. Because they'll need that for their state license as well, that you approved that they could consume alcohol on the street.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve the,
Move to approve the liquor for downtown for the Big Blue River Days, June 4th and 5th.
okay, have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
7-0. Okay, and then, so does somebody want to make a motion, I guess, to approve all the other things except for the setting up of the tent?
I move for the Marysville Flea Market on Mother's Day, that we do not put the tent up, but I will approve the rest of the items for the flea market.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0.
I move we approve Big Blue River Days as outlined by Kate's.
And there we are putting up the tent, right?
We will put up the tent for this
Yep, right.
event.
Yeah.
Making sure, I want to make sure I got it right. Oops.
Okay,
Second.
do I have a second? All right. Any further discussion on that one? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, so we're not setting up, say unless somebody wants to make a motion to set up for Mother's Day.
You end up setting it up, needing volunteers, let me know.
Okay, I was just gonna ask that if we could possibly have a couple helpers. All right, thank you guys so much, I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Next up, let's see, Interim Convention and Tourism Director pay.
Last year, the governing body approved $250 per month for Michelle Weitzel to do, do updating of the website and other duties, that the director normally did. And you guys approved until, I believe, November, for that pay to happen. And to reevaluate it in November, well, we lost track of it, and it never came back to council. So I'm looking to see if we can do some back pay, because she's been doing the same job that she was being paid for last year, continuously trying to keep everything up to date and everything that she was asked to do, but not receiving a paycheck. So I'm looking until a director is hired, or whenever you guys want to set it to.
I thought that's why we have Miss Tomer hired
That's
up
a
there.
different group.
That's a different
Different
group.
group.
That's Main Street Chamber.
So, okay, I have a couple questions here.
Uh-huh.
First is, so we paid through October.
Through November.
November.
We
November.
paid through November, so we're talking about 5 months of back pay.
Right,
Yeah.
Including April.
yep,
And how close are they to finding somebody?
close. We got one more interview on Tuesday, and we've had some good candidates. Like,
So
it's,
these candidates, the ones that look likely, are they like start this month candidates, or are they like starting 60-day candidates?
one of them is pretty local. I don't know how fast, but I'd say within 60 days, we could get somebody.
How much is the city gonna pay for this new director?
You guys set 20 to 25.
That's gonna be our share.
Because then remember the ponies, museums jumping in on that
So
too.
20 to 25 is what the council had set it
Council's
at.
contribution.
I don't
think we need them. I honestly don't think we need them.
What?
Michelle, when we paying her?
Well, the way we have turnover, we might be
No,
able to find
we-
out. Might be able to review this again in a year or two. I think the back pay is kind of a no-brainer, just because it's our fault, and she's been doing the job, and been pretty good value to be doing that, actually.
Yeah.
I wish they had somebody hired in hand, so we knew the end date here.
Well, why don't we put an end date on it?
Yeah,
All right, I move approve, the back pay at $250 a month from, would be December, January, February, March, April, ending, and then continuing through the month of May.
Okay. I'll give you that. I'm pretty good with that. I'll second it.
Okay. Any
put
further
the
discussion?
pressure on them.
Yep.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0.
And you're for sure, we need this convention and tourism director.
This is that's why they came and asked you guys, and you said the
Not
council.
all of us said that.
Not all of them, but the
Let's get it straight.
The council told them they could go out and hire somebody.
This is the one that's combined with the pony.
I know, and I think we have a gal up in that office, I think, that is more than capable of doing both jobs.
All 4 jobs?
Both jobs.
No, it's 4 jobs.
It's 4 jobs.
Yeah, but I think she can do it.
It'd be Chamber, Main Street, it'd be.
Convention and tourism.
And then
Pony Express.
Pony Express.
You know, Pony Express can hire somebody to do their own business, as
That's
far
what-
as I'm concerned, but
That's what they're doing with this one.
But it's
shared.
It's all but impossible to hire somebody half-time. That's
the
why it's
problem.
also working
That's the
into
problem.
that.
They're trying
That's
to
why
get
they-
people to pool together so they got enough funds coming
Yeah.
in to hire one full-time person instead of.
Yeah.
and this year's 20,000, next year's 25, then 30, you know, this thing just keeps spiraling every year, and they think they're always worth more, and
Well, I will, when I see the
Keith,
person.
you look at me kinda weird there, buddy, come on.
You know what, when I see the person sitting in front of us that took the job, then I'll believe in it.
Okay. All right, notices and hearings, anything there, the consent agenda.
Move to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Appropriations ordinance number 3745.
Move to approve appropriations ordinance 3745.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call?
Vivian, Fry,
Yes.
Schroller,
Yes,
Hughes,
Yes.
Eichmann,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Barons,
Yes,
Prom,
Yes.
7-0.
Okay. Hospital staff reports.
All right, first thing on my list is, we opened bids for the ADA ramps, / curb and gutter project. We received 2 bids to do ADA ramps, and curb and gutter. One bid from Inline and the other from AHRS. The low bid came in from AHRS for $102,000. This project covers 14 ADA ramps and 1,070 linear feet of curb and gutter outside of the ramps locations that are being done. And I'm sure if we went through and measured all the curb and gutter that's being replaced by just the ramps, this would be quite a feat, and lots of new curb and gutter done this year. We budgeted $51,000 for ADA ramps and $50,000 for curb and gutter this year. So we're right on the money with AHRS doing this. So,
Question.
yes.
Where'd 1,070 feet, who came up with that figure?
That was measuring the length. I mean, it was pretty. Actually, they came up with that. The contractors went out and measured those streets just to make sure, double check. But it's pretty straightforward. We did complete replacement from a sidewalk to a sidewalk on each street.
What's tilted compared to, yes, all right.
So.
But the reason I'm asking, because a good example is the streets all got fixed over there where Roger Cottrell lives. Then when they come back, the part that got done didn't really include part of the sidewalk, or is that where the part of the sidewalk comes in? Because it's done now, but how did they figure that? That's what I was trying to.
As far as curb and gutter work, or the,
Yeah, if they're gonna do one and it's coming up and it's just, maybe they gotta go 6 or 8 feet of sidewalk along with it. Is that where the 1070 comes in?
no, that 1070 is just the curb and gutter. And they're not doing it, with the curb and gutter, they're not doing any sidewalk.
So some of these ADA ramps then will be good, but the sidewalk past it won't be good.
No, the ADA ramps, we engineered those, and we took each of those each of those ramps back to where they meet. So that project is they will do some sidewalk on that portion of the project. The curb and gutter doesn't touch is a separate thing.
Basically, the sidewalks go back to the property lines. Theoretically, where they meet, yeah.
At the very least,
Yeah.
that's what they do.
Because I know in years past, we've only went like 2 squares up, and then it narrowed for 2 squares before it got to the property line.
They go back to the landing, at least, if they need to go 1 square more or something like that, they go 1 square more. But it's at least going back to that landing where they meet and creating a complete, corner.
There's no place where it's gonna be ADA ramp's gonna hook onto a narrower sidewalk then?
Yes, there will be
That's
some of
all
those.
right.
That's okay, and
It is.
it'll be up to the landowner, if they want to replace their sidewalk. They can come and sign up for our, sidewalk project, and we'll pay, our program, and we'll pay for 50% of the concrete and 50% of the, yeah,
And that's anywhere in town.
anywhere in town. So, this project is right on our numbers, of where, it's $1,000 off where we budgeted, which is great. And it gets a lot done, including the highway. I think this will make a really good path, at least ADA ramp wise, to up the hill, on the highway.
So do I have a motion to approve the low bid?
Move to approve the low bid, for $102,000 from AHRS.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 7-0.
All right, next thing on the list is a quote for a backup replacement sewer pump for lift station 1 or 2. We have currently no backup pumps for either lift station, which are located on 11th Road, and I included a map to show you where these lift stations are on page 37. One is on 11th Road South, which is in that circle, and number 2 is up by Landalls on 11th Road North. This pump would be the same, each of those run off the same size of pump. So if one goes down, we could use that pump for either one of those. So we're just looking for at least one replacement right now to move forward. And we did, quote from Agland is $10,844.73 for the pump.
This is a new pump,
This is a new pump.
not a rebuilt one.
Yeah. This is, where's my quote go?
Do we still have a rebuilt one? Didn't we keep one that we were gonna do something?
That was for the main.
That was for the main one.
That's for the main one.
Yeah, this one is, there's no backup for this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's new pump.
Okay. Move to approve the replacement sewer pump from Agland for $10,844.73.
Second.
Does not include freight.
Yeah, plus freight.
Plus
Plus
freight.
freight.
Yeah.
Alright, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7.
All right, next up, financials. The general fund is still sitting at, over $1.2 million, which is about 200,000 over where it was in 2020 at the end of March. The water fund is a little over 700,000, which is about 100,000 more than in 2020. And then the sewer fund is sitting about 250,000, which is 100,000 below, where it was in 2020. Sewer fund did increase by almost $35,000 this last month. The sales tax fund has been decreased by $770,000 due to a journal entry required by our auditor. This journal entry took into account the paying of the swimming pool bonds last year. We will recoup the money from the swimming pool sales tax fund. As for the sales tax receipts, we received about $25,000 more in the month of March in overall sales tax than we received in March of 2020, and 30,000 more than March of 2019. And I'm pretty much guessing that that is due to stimulus checks coming in January. There's no questions on that. I do want to talk, I am working on a plan to finance the remainder of the fire station. I'm hoping to have that plan for the next council meeting. We are coming to the end of the match that we had budgeted for with straight cash. So I want to come back. I'm looking at, after all is said and done, about $450,000 to $500,000 in financing. And I'm hoping to set it up on a payment plan. I'm looking at a 5-year payment plan to where we shift some mill levy into the bond and interest fund from where, like, either general or employee benefits, and make it, and can join it into the bond and interest, whereas just separating out the money to where we pay off the fire station like that in the next 5 years. Hopefully we can do a lease purchase through the local banks, especially with the low interest rates that are happening right now.
Say with the local bank?
With the local banks.
Okay.
And I've had some discussion with some of them, and they seem to either think they'll work together or something like that, or come up with their own bids. So we'll see. You'll hopefully see a resolution coming on the next council meeting, so you can approve that.
Like maybe in a form of a lease?
Yeah, a lease purchase.
Okay.
Yep.
Locally?
Locally. Yep, that's the whole idea, especially if they can offer us the low interest rates that we are afforded right now.
Hand me that deal on that.
You bet.
Just the paper.
Just the
yeah.
paper? Sure. But that is all I have for right now. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer. That's all I got.
Alright, standing committee reports. Anybody have anything on street?
Yeah, I had one.
Yes.
Carolina Street between 13th and 14th. That would be between St. Greg's Church and the school through there. I guess I did not realize how bad some of the concrete was in there, especially on the south side. I know we're kind of making a concerted effort up at the high school to do some repairs where people walk. I'm sure plenty of people walk between the church and the school and park there too. So I think that's something probably we need to put on our radar as far as fixing. They did a good chunk of the north side when they built the new church, but there's some sections on the south side that, I mean, we've put some cold mix or whatever in there, and it helps, but it only helps so long. Plus, it's the top, kind of flat through there, so I'm sure it gets salted plenty from people walking, and it's gonna chew it up over time. So if that's something we can kind of put on the radar, I don't think that's a section we've talked about, but it's another high foot traffic section.
Okay, yeah.
Seems like an appropriate thing, so
Okay.
that's all I got.
Donna Romeyer up here on 710 Jenkins. I don't know how many is familiar with the property, runs right along 8th Street there. She's got a rock retaining wall on her property. The rocks are starting to push from the top down on hers. Those rocks go, our road's gonna go too.
So,
We need to have somebody look at that.
rocks, okay.
Right up here by the Old Eagles Club.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and there's some stairs there that are kind of
Yeah,
blocked off.
Stairs are gone.
Took them out.
Oh, we got those?
Stairs are gone, but the
Okay.
rocks, if you
I
look
think
at the rocks, you can see where the top rocks are starting to slide
Gotcha.
On her,
over the next set of rocks down.
on her retaining
On
walls?
her, well, yeah, on her wall, yeah, but I don't know if it's her wall, 'cause those rocks were there when I lived there 40 years ago.
It could be in the right of way, or it could be her wall.
I bet it's her wall, but.
I bet you the rocks hold our street.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're pretty
Yeah.
big rocks.
they're
but-
big rocks, yeah. So,
Okay.
Okay, anything else on street?
When's the citywide cleanup, did you say?
Next week, 19th.
Was it in the paper?
Yes, will be. Again,
was.
it was in the paper, and it's on our doors, it's on our website, it's on our Facebook page. The dump will be open from 9 to 6 that week, all week, but
The
You
night,
know,
next week?
it's next week. Out on the curb by 8:30 in the morning if it's your section, because we do one section a day for 4 days.
Okay, because
And
somebody
no
asked me,
coming
well,
back.
by the time it gets in the paper, well, if it's in the paper this week, then it'll be.
Right, and it'll
okay.
be in again.
Yep.
I have, there
It
was
was
a few
in,
that
it was in last week, and it's out, now going in this week.
Yes,
Yep.
I saw it in last week's.
right,
Okay.
correct.
Okay. Water and wastewater?
yes,
Yes.
I have two of them. Mike Hogan on South Sixth Street. I guess it is actually South Street. Or
It's
is it
South
Kest-
Street. It's Kester.
Kester,
I think it's
Kester and
Kester.
Sixth, down
I
there
think
on
it
the
is.
end.
Yeah.
Going under his property to the west is the only drainage that goes out of there. It is a 4-inch clay tile, and it does not drain water very well. Either we need to clean that 4-inch drain out, or we need to put a bigger pipe in there. All that water that runs that way goes in his ditch there, and then it can't get out.
Yeah.
And it's just, I went down there, looked at it, and visited with him. It is 3-foot sections of 4-inch clay tile.
Where does it come out at, Kevin?
It goes across the street to the west.
There's not much of a ditch over there either.
No, there is not. So I don't know if we need to go in and recut that. I don't know, but that should drain to the west.
It almost should drain to that ditch there south by the railroad track, shouldn't it?
That's a long ways.
Well, yeah, it is a ways then.
Well, I got another one. It gets better.
Okay, great.
And I brought this one up before. The bus garage down there on 7th Street. We built that street up. We put new meters in there. We filled the half block in to the south. The tube still goes underneath Jackson Street. We said we were gonna look at it probably 9 months ago, and nothing's been done.
Well, I think we looked at it, and then we did the other drainage first, on Oaks, is that Oak Street? That one big one across the way from you.
Right,
And we worked forever on that one.
I know, but something needs to be done with this one, because it's getting it's building up so bad that when it rains, you gotta stand in about 2 inches of water to lock the gate down there at the bus
Is that on
garage.
7th Street, on 6th Street, on Jackson, which way?
7th on Jackson.
7th
It's
on
where
Jackson.
the gates go in that the buses go in and out.
Okay, okay.
But it just keeps getting deeper and deeper in there. That water now runs to the corner, to the east, all the way down the east fence line, and then back down the alley by my house to 6th Street and over. Yes. You know, that used to just run into the drain, go south, and then run across there on South Street
Well, that's why I
into
asked
the
you
old
which
drainage
way.
creek. But we filled all that in, so
We,
I think we're responsible for making sure it drains again.
put in a cement road and messed up drainage.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I know.
Big surprise.
And since we're talking about it, I know we just talked about street, where Oak and Spring tie into that concrete, we never did any real hard servicing, did we? When we pulled that in, cause it's rock and there's quite a lip where the concrete meets the rock, meets Oak or meets Spring. Surprised somebody who lives on Oak Street hasn't complained about that,
I
but
go out on 6th Street side
you
all
can't
the
see I'm
time.
smiling, but I don't know that we should probably, I don't know, try to cold mix that in at some point too, as part of this. It's quite a lip. I mean, if you had a low profile tire and took that corner at all short, you might clip your rim.
Intersection to 7th Street, you're talking
Yeah.
about South 7th, right?
Yep,
Yep.
South 7.
Okay, anything else on water, wastewater?
That's all I have, sir.
Nothing else? Parks and Rec?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Busy.
Just letting you all know, the 14 and under boys baseball got a 10-inch pitching mound in here last week. It's sitting down. If anyone asks, it's sitting on the black diamond, because that's the one that they're gonna use for that, but it's leaned up behind the dugout, behind the bleach, or the seat in that, and it's strapped down to it, so that showed up, and, you know, just letting you all know it's here, so. One of the new league changes this year, that everybody in the league has to have one of these 10-inch high pitching mounds, so.
I think it's great. Should have started them a long time ago with pitching mountain.
Oh, we did have a rec meeting last week, committee meeting
Yeah,
with Legion about the ball diamond, about the concession, and all
Concession
that at the-
stand,
Yeah, at the Legion ball
lights,
field,
yep.
yeah, and lights and replacement, and so I think where we kinda left with that is they kind of approved a rough layout, and we're gonna get estimates to bring back to council so that they have an idea what this project would cost.
At Feldfield.
Yeah, Feldfield. Get there?
I couldn't hear what they said.
They had
Something about the ballpark.
a rec meeting last week about about Feldfield and about the lighting and the concession stand and some improvements out there. And they're supposed to be getting some estimates to bring back to council, so we have an idea of what it would cost to do these improvements.
Ahead of this, the committee's already made the suggestions and you're getting figures?
Well, they had a layout, and they went over it with some representatives from Legion, and they liked the plan, or approved the plan, and liked the layout, and the committee liked the layout, and so the next step now is that we'll have some contractors give us some rough estimates, so we got an idea of what this would cost us,
Okay,
so.
I just thought maybe you'd ask the council that too.
Well, it'll come before council, but all this was just getting some rough estimates, so you know this is gonna be a 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever thousand. Right now, we don't have a number to present to council what it would cost.
So the council will still have an either or on these
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's
Just
gotta be
wanted to
voted
know.
on. Yep.
Thank you.
Anybody have anything on cemetery and airport?
Kevin, anything?
nope, sorry.
Police and fire?
Yep. Where are we at on fixing the fire truck?
When we getting some repairs done on that, or some
Insur-
prices?
Insurance, wanted more information. We're still, it takes a little bit for them to, they're gonna cover the fire damage. They had some questions about some of the other damage that was on there, so we're trying to get that evened out, straightened out with them. And then,
This is gonna be fixed with OEM parts, correct?
with what?
OEM?
OEM
And
parts.
the insurance does not wanna cover OEM parts.
What is the insurance gonna pay for?
Aftermarket parts,
You are kidding me, right?
not kidding.
Nah, that's a lot of
You have a
insurance
truck that has
policies,
6,
aftermarket stuff.
you know what, and I understand that, but you guys realize that if this truck was lost,
Yeah,
that you're gonna have to come up with 200,000 to replace it, because they're gonna give you like nothing. I'm not impressed with this at all, because this has been over a month that this machine is damaged.
Yeah.
And this is pitiful that we're being treated like this. I mean, do we have a bunch of claims that we're being like a problem child? I mean,
There were some other issues, and if you wanna discuss some other issues,
I do.
not related to our insurance, I'd love to discuss those with you.
oh, we're gonna discuss it.
We did get money for the parts. We haven't got it, we got the check today for the parts, but
We
they
did,
are
okay.
aftermarket parts. And our agent, as well as the,
Adjuster.
there you go, said that they won't put, it's a 2003 truck, so they're not gonna put full price on, and our agent said that she had a newer vehicle and they would not put OEM parts on it either, that's just a standard in insurance companies now. So that's all I know.
Let me tell you, for what we pay for insurance, I would request OEM parts.
And where I'm at is that if it doesn't look in the condition that it was before the fire, then we're going to have a problem. Because I have been over it with a fine-tooth comb. I have showed people what has been damaged by heat. Now, you know and I know that if you have issues from that heat, that this repair bill could very easily get a lot bigger, a lot quicker.
Which truck's he talking about?
One of our 1,000-gallon brush trucks, also known as a tender,
So I couldn't hear you.
one of our 1,000-gallon brush trucks, its number is 605.
It caught on fire?
well.
We were at a fire and yes, it got caught in the fire.
Got caught in the grass fire.
Now,
It did some
Terry, understand, 40, 50 mile an hour winds shoving a grass fire. I mean, it was about as real as you can get.
Was
And
that here in Marysville?
it was right south, it was in our fire district.
It was in our fire district.
In our fire district that we take care of, yes. Yeah, I mean, it has pretty good damage. I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, the tires got burnt somewhat. Well,
No.
not that bad.
But they're brand-new tires.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not something you wanna keep on there and, for liability reasons. They're probably all right, but they're gonna be replaced. If they haven't, they've been
They
replaced
have.
already? Okay, they've already been replaced. Most of the other damage was, a lot of it was cosmetic. I mean, melted some of the chrome off the grill. I mean, it's functional, but it's got some cosmetic damage. There was a light
Well,
that got knocked off.
that can be argumentative, because it may be cosmetic now. And then we go out and we work a situation in a lot of rain and moisture, and we may find out there's a lot of seals broke on things, and it's no longer cosmetic, and we have bigger issues. If the seals are broke on the headlights, they're gonna fill with water. If they're broke on the warning lights, they're gonna fill with water. And then you're gonna have electrical problems. Just like the melted wires
Headlights,
underneath
I'm
it.
assuming they're getting
They are.
replaced,
Yeah,
right? They say
they are.
they were melted a little bit on the bottom, so
They
they
are.
should be getting new ones.
They are.
Yeah, I hope the two plastic panels that kinda help hold them in are getting replaced also, 'cause those are heat shrunk from the heat.
So there was a lot of stuff that got, some heat damage to it that's gonna
Yeah.
be replaced.
It just, council many years ago bought them trucks, and we worked really hard to keep them clean and nice and take care of them.
Why wasn't the council told about this? When it happened?
I don't know. Sorry, I can't play both
When did
sides
it
of the
happen?
fence.
Well, that grass fire,
Is it in the paper?
no, I mean,
Grass
it's
fire
not.
was like 310.
Is that what it was?
310.
Was it? Okay,
Yeah.
so it would've happened like a week before the last council meeting.
We went out there so many times. that
It was-
Yeah, they were out there constantly with that one.
We started on a Tuesday night and finished on a,
Saturday.
That's when we were having those days where you weren't supposed to be
Thinking.
burning and the wind was gusting
They
like
ran
50 miles an
together.
hour and
I mean, I heard about it, but I mean, I really feel like it should have been reported to the city, to the council.
We started on the insurance, the week after, so it probably slipped through the cracks of what happened. We were just filing insurance claims on it,
Well,
and trying to get work through that.
well,
well, I'm just asking, cause it needs to be fixed and
Yes.
you know how time slips away quickly.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
that's,
Where was this fire at?
South of town,
South's a long ways. That's,
Well,
New Orleans is south
a
of
few
town.
miles. It wasn't that far away, but.
Pheasant Road and 14th.
Terry,
At one point.
Terry, it started, I wanna say, on 11th Terrace and I wanna say it's like 11th Terrace and it's just south of Pheasant Road. By the time we were done with all the calls, we were like between 11th Road and clear past 14th Road. By the time, I mean, we went on a Tuesday night, we went Wednesday morning, we went Wednesday afternoon, we went Wednesday night. I think we went back Thursday, because the winds just kept switching directions and not winning. Any type of log you missed, it would light something else up. I mean, this fire went for a couple miles, and I mean, Wednesday afternoon, oh geez, there's 3 departments and
Well,
20-some tenders and brush trucks and probably 100-some guy. I mean, it was a deal.
my question to the council is, if we had a fire like that, we're having trouble getting the insurance to get the truck back the way you wanted it. It's kind of interesting, usually when there's something like that, if somebody had a fire, they might have some liability that would help too. If this was caused by somebody, they could have a homeowner's policy that would help fix their truck. Unless this was lightning or it's something that
It
nobody,
wasn't lightning. I think it was a deliberate.
somebody's,
I don't think it's provable. I know what you're saying, Terry. I don't think it's
it's something to
provable.
look into.
I agree, but I don't think it's provable.
it still should have been brought to the council's attention that we had a loss with a fire truck. That's my point.
Alright, anybody else have anything on police and fire? Admin and finance?
Oh, with the police?
Yes.
I find our police report, our monthly report, a little bit confusing, especially the spreadsheet, not the long one, whole page one, but the
Yeah.
spreadsheet. Where it goes from 1 month and then 1 month and then we have a total for the whole month, for the whole year. I don't quite understand the deal. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but.
The one where you see all the totals for January, February, and March?
Yes,
Is that, it just totals it all out?
it just has these little boxes.
Uh-huh.
I think it's just for that. I think it's a running total that program
Well,
does.
I understand that, but to me, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, I liked it when we had
Weekly.
the weekly one, or if they wanted to do that, make a weekly and put it for the whole month. But to me, that doesn't really tell us anything as far as I'm concerned.
It's after the fact.
But
Okay.
whatever, to me,
you-
it's a waste of time, but.
Right, but you guys wanted the monthly.
Who did?
You guys did. We voted on it. I didn't want the monthly.
Some voted on it, I
I
did.
voted on it, yep.
The spreadsheet you're talking about is the incidents that have happened, and, just to clarify, all the reports that we provide, yeah, that one, all the reports we provide are always after the fact. So you're gonna get after it's happened always. But these reports that were given out are more information than we've given out with the weekly reports, because the weekly reports were, we did this on this day, we did this on this day, we did this on, same thing, whereas these
Doesn't have
are
its own
telling you
budget
actual statistics of what we're actually doing
Inherits
and what we're accomplishing.
Oh, well, I guess it does, 42, 35.
But to me, it makes no sense whatsoever, basically. I mean, I don't like it. There has to be some other way of,
That's just how the report gets spit out, through the program we use.
well.
I mean,
then
what do you?
There should be a different spreadsheet. I mean, I would rather have something that was ambulance calls or something like that. I mean, this has, whatever. Anyway, I don't like it. Let's put it that way. So, whatever.
Well, it would have informed us about the fire too.
Yeah.
I mean, so this is like a pivot table, so I mean, is there like a CSV file that she can manipulate to
It's like this.
look?
This is what it looks like.
Yeah,
And it tells you all the different calls every month,
yeah.
you know, I mean,
It's a waste of time as far as I'm concerned, but whatever. That's just my opinion, so. The other one we've gotten, the long sheet, we've gotten that before. I mean, so, okay.
Okay. Anything else on police and fire? Admin and finance?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I had a call tonight, it was from Jim Swim,
Okay.
and previously, the mayor and the council's gotten involved with the celebration on the 31st there, and he was wondering if I'd bring it to the council's attention about laying the wreath up there at the cemetery on Memorial Day, as the 31st at 10 a.m. is when the music starts.
Right.
And then there'd be the laying of the wreath, and he'd like to know if the council or the mayor would participate. I told him I'd tell you all about it, so.
Yeah, I'll plan on being there.
And Jim Swim's the guy that if you wanted to talk to about, if you had some ideas about something, whatever you wanted to do, so.
Senior or junior?
Martin?
Senior or junior? Jim Swim, senior or junior?
Junior.
The one about this high.
Okay, so I get the right name in here. Sorry.
short.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else on admin and finance?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I see we had several people that had 4 dogs that we bought tags for. And under nuisance, it says that, you're only supposed to have tagged 3 dogs. So either we need to change our code or we shouldn't be selling 4 dog tags to one person.
Are they registered at different addresses and they're just
No.
paying across?
Well, I don't know.
That's-
It doesn't have an address.
We have 3 at one address and 1 at the other.
Sometimes they'll skirt around it that way.
What doesn't, there's no addresses listed in here.
No. There won't be. There is in the tag
What
book.
page are we looking at?
She must be looking at,
Well, just.
the entry in here.
In here.
Oh, awesome.
What page is that?
Doesn't have a page, it'd be like
19, 18,
There you go.
Yeah, it's in the consent agenda.
in the clerk's report of what we actually received in money.
I mean, I don't care if they do it, but then we need to change our codes that say that you can have more dogs than 3.
Yeah, that one is the one where they register it at a different address.
How does the code reads per location, per address, per whatever?
And, yeah, we've never changed that. We talked about it one other time. It is per location. I think, or is it per, it might even be per person, but one is in a business and one is at a home.
Well, there's more than one. There's
I mean,
more.
that's what, I'd have to go back and look. We looked to make sure it
Yeah.
could be, and I can't remember if it was location or,
Like, is it
I think it's
address or
location.
dwelling, or?
Yes,
mean,
I can't,
I know our ordinances are kind of all over the map. of
exactly,
How that's
and,
worded.
it's one or the other, because we did look last year, or 2 years ago when it happened the first time.
Well, there's more than one though.
Oh, there shouldn't be, because sometimes they're cats.
I say, there's more than one person on here that were this time. There were 3 different ones that had 4 tags.
I'm gonna say, I've found 3 of them so far with 4 tags, and they all say dog tag.
Okay,
So if they were,
that wouldn't be true, I only know of one, so that's why I'm
Well, I
wondering
don't know,
what
but
it
there's
says.
3 of them. There's,
but I will say this, I don't see any cat tags.
Well, there's some up by Megan Vorchak. She has cats.
well, we've only got 25 cat tags for the whole,
Okay.
so far.
It's only
We have to
25
look
cats in
into
town.
them.
You heard it here.
Really?
There's more than
mom
that
said
in
there's
my
probably 50
neighborhood.
down by her, so, but they
yeah.
probably are strays.
We'll have to look in to see where these addresses are.
Well,
The city's kept track. It's not.
what I'm saying is nothing has been, okay, there is a cat
There's
tag.
2 on the front page and there's
Yeah.
1 on the 3rd page.
And sometimes it's because they are, the one person paid for all of them, but they're not, grandma paid for the dog tags that belong to the grandkid, you know what I mean? Sometimes we
Well, all I
have that.
know is if
Sure.
we either need to change the code or we need to.
Well, they don't all live in the same house, I'm just telling you, sometimes the one person writes a check for all the dog tags.
So maybe,
They don't live at the same house.
since we don't have it in front of us, maybe bring back the code's wording and we can look at that.
Right, and it is on
Agreed.
line.
There's the code wording,
You have it.
right there.
On any premises. So what's the definition of premises
Yeah.
in the code book? Premises, is that a lot? Is that an address? Is that a structure? See, this is, I mean, our city
These are-
attorney's not here, but that's a question for an attorney.
Well, I can see the premises,
Well, the
but
first
it,
one
but
that
it
says
doesn't
for
say,
are
like this one
living
here
Right,
is.
oh, sure, I see what you're saying.
She
So
she
it could be
just
coded as premise
paid for
1
them all.
or premise 2.
Because that's her son.
There they got,
And
there
they
they
don't
got
live
4,
together.
there they got
That
4.
Ingram
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, there's
They don't
only,
live together.
there's only one of these that we know has 4 to the
And-
family, but they registered the other one
To a different
to a
premises.
different premise.
So,
And I will say, the
Like
first
the
one you see
law.
on here, that's a mother-son, she paid for all of them, they do not live at the same house.
yeah.
They don't live at
It's
the
who
same
writes
house.
the check.
It's who writes the check.
Right.
Yes.
And then the second one on there, the other one is actually from Home City, and they tag their dog here just because they'll come to visit their mother here, and they don't, if their dog is running, they don't want somebody to pick it up. So that's why there's 4 on that one. The one is actually doesn't live here, just visits here once in a while.
So, based on how this reads, if it's a different premise, it doesn't matter if the premise is a barn or a house or
Well,
a
it does,
small
I mean,
business.
we look at it like the properties that are all connected.
Connected properties. So, but if you owned a property across an alley, it wouldn't be connected.
Well,
Correct.
I guess
I-
not
I
if you
say
have a
this
building
because
over
I
there. I
know
mean,
we've hammered
okay, we
people on
had
that
one person
before
who
on
wanted
other
to do
things.
that, and we told them no, and they abided by it. They said, okay, we won't get another dog.
You told me I can tag like 12 dogs.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, well, no, Jason, you do you.
If you own 3 rental houses,
You're up
then
for reelection soon, so just do whatever, but
I don't think I need 12 dogs. One is,
Because this is a cash report, that's why it is. This is not a dog tag report. This is just how we take cash in.
I'm just
So that's what I'm
asking
telling
because,
you. Yes.
you know,
It could be 3 are for the dogs and 1's for the wife.
well, maybe.
on another note, and I guess, I don't know where to bring this up, but, chickens. We, we had one person get swept up in the not being able to have chickens that, has acreage, has had chickens for years.
you couldn't even let me bring this up in a round table. I was gonna
Oh,
bring up the
well,
same
you-
thing. Go ahead.
Well, they hit me up about it
Yep.
too. And it was, I thought it's supposed to be in here, but, discussions we had, I mean, cause this person can have horses
Or
and
a cow.
cows,
Horse or cows?
but
Under-
no chickens
acres.
because they're not,
2-218.
yeah, cause
No
they're not
chickens, no
specifically
ducks,
spelled
no
out.
Goats.
Yeah, I think it's hard to argue that if you can have horses
Cattle
and
and
cows, that you
horses.
can't have some chickens.
I agree with that. I mean,
It just affects just a few people. You have to have 2 acres,
2
which is more than the
contiguous
ci-
acres that are.
Yeah, which is more than the city
connected.
block, so you gotta have a lot of space.
no, I mean, I don't know how many 2-acre parcels there are in town, but there
Not
can't
very
be
many.
all
Not a
that dang
lot.
many.
Not that many.
You got one.
There's quite a few.
More than you think.
There's a lot.
when you look them up.
11 through.
Quite a few that, there's a
Not
lot
true
of,
out there,
Well, I suppose some of
Keystone.
them look bigger than they are because the right of way and everything.
yeah.
That's true too.
There's a 6 acre up by the ballpark.
Yes, there
Oh,
is.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I was gonna bring it up, but yeah, I mean, as far as I can tell, there's not a lot of good argument to be made that cattle are okay and chickens aren't, especially if you're gonna say limited chickens, but to sweep that into the acreage ordinance only seems to make sense. And I'm not saying this as a condition on the specific people that were swept in so much as it seems like an obvious inconsistency in our system. I mean, rules exist for a reason and you gotta draw a line somewhere. I get the whole slippery slope thing. But if anybody can explain to me how cattle are better to live next to than chickens, I'm all ears.
Or a horse.
Or a horse, but, I mean, at least you could ride a horse. There's a transportation argument if you're gonna ride a cow. And again.
Some people
do.
do.
You do you, but, I mean, I think we should look at, changing our 2-218 to include chickens on
And
over
I guess
2
that's
acre
what I'm
parcels.
asking is if council would like to have something
Written up.
written up for the
Okay.
next meeting.
And we can still say no roosters, hens only.
Yeah.
I mean, we can,
You can limit the number,
You can
which
say
would
5
probably
or
be
4
smart, so
or 3 or
somebody
6
doesn't
or-
raise 100
sure.
butcher chickens or something.
Chickens.
Okay, you would like to bring that back?
Yes,
Give
I'd like
me
to
a-
bring-
Give me 6 chickens,
6
10 chickens,
hens,
what do you?
6 hens, no roosters.
And how, in a certain
2
size
acres,
lot?
put it on the 2-218.
It has to go, you have to have
Same
at
as-
least 2 acres?
Correct.
2 acres.
Now, I have a question since I haven't read that ordinance in its entirety. Do they can just do it willy-nilly or do they notify us? Is there anything at all?
No,
No,
Okay.
it's just,
No.
that's the
They-
rule.
Just to be clear.
Yeah.
no, they just ban, it's specific what they ban and it's specific what they allow. That's all. That's what that ordinance
Right.
does.
Okay.
Okay, so 6 hens, no roosters. Okay.
Sounds like a band. It's my bluegrass album.
They
Yes.
specifically spelled out or?
Is it rabbits or is it meat rabbits?
No, it's just rabbits. and
Just
I
rabbit.
can't remember.
no, I can find
remember.
out there about rabbits.
Something about keeping the pen clean, something about, they can be in town like dogs, I think.
Rabbits?
Pet rabbits.
Because, yeah, they're considered a companion animal, like a guinea pig or a hamster or that sort of thing.
Right, and I think it does talk about having to keep the pen clean and no odor, and you have to clean it
Sure.
once a week outside, and, yeah, there's something with it that I don't have it memorized. We haven't talked about rabbits.
Sounds like we're going to.
What about ferrets?
And goats, and,
I got asked about goats.
you know,
Goat cheese. Legit.
yeah.
There you go.
Well, they're not allowed no matter even if you got 2 acres.
I got a goldfish, but they don't smell.
You have a license?
Unless you let them die.
That goldfish water can stink too.
Well, it can, but I had it cleaned just the other day. It's all nice and clean.
Okay. Anybody else have anything on admin and finance?
Austin's looking up rabbits.
I can't find it.
Please find it.
Can't
Okay,
find it.
it's something in pets or something, yeah. We can look for rabbits for you.
Nothing on appointments, city attorney's not here. We probably ought to have an executive session quick.
Yeah.
I went and got that paper. Okay, that's on your
Where'd she go?
Bathroom.
Okay. As long as she knows she's coming back.
This is
to
a
the
real
front
estate one. I don't know if,
Isn't that what you were talking about?
yeah, but I don't know if, I don't know what are you wanting to call in for? Is it
Oh.
for real estate or you wanting to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's
Well, if he
realistic.
doesn't wanna discuss this fire truck out here, we're gonna discuss it.
That would be.
I don't have all the details. I was gonna do some conjecture with you.
That's fine.
Well, would that be under,
Well, it has to be an open session
Employee.
unless it's an employee.
well, does it involve an employee?
I would, can we wait so I can think this through?
Okay. All right. Okay, well, let's do that one then.
Okay, and you want the top one or the second one? Possible acquisition, that one, or preliminary discussion?
That's probably preliminary.
Okay, so
I don't know if they
it's the
decided.
top one. Read the top one.
Top one.
Uh-huh.
Alright, she's back. I move the city council recess into executive session for a preliminary discussion relating to the acquisition of real property pursuant to KSA 75-4319. This meeting will include the mayor, city council, city administrator. And how long do you want to go in for?
15 minutes?
15.
We'll be back at 8:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Sorry.
Austin, I think you should, commission a more fun graphic. That one's just a little basic.
I couldn't find the one I normally use, so.
Like a stay tuned with like a spinning squirrel.
Oh,
or
I
something.
know, yes. You got the idea.
They wake you up.
Yes, Paul and I were deep in a good conversation.
Yeah, they were.
Come on,
Uh.
guys.
All right.
It's 8:30.
Okay,
Right
call
on
the
the
meeting
dot.
back to order. No binding decisions were made. I guess we're on to, roundtable. Todd, you got anything?
I was not at the last meeting. Can somebody remind me, since I've had a lot of people reach out to me today, what was decided as far as the, mask extension at the last meeting?
It's extended till the 1st of May, correct?
1st of May.
And with review at that time or full stop?
Review on the next
Review.
council meeting.
I have not seen, I think we had like one active case. I mean, the main thing was to give people that got, which we had another big vaccination last week, to give them time to reach full immunity, and also to make sure we didn't have any outbreaks come back from spring break or Easter, which so far, it looks like we're probably gonna be good. Got
I
anything?
really think, and I thought at the time we should have done it till school was out until graduations, and that's what Manhattan and Riley County have done. But,
Some of them have, yeah.
yeah, so,
And, yeah, so we'll bring that back to the next council meeting for review.
Okay, that's what the next question was gonna be, so it's reviewed at the next council
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Diane?
Nope.
Terry?
One thing I wanted to say, I don't get around that much, but anybody that wanna go by and take a look down there at them tulips at the Kester House.
Oh, yeah, I've seen
They're
some pictures.
unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Be something for you to see or tell somebody about. That's the only thing I had to say.
I think they were running, garden tours, so if you want a tour, I think you talk to the foundation people and they'll give you a tour.
Right. Anything else?
No, that was it.
Okay. Keith?
Well, I showed you, I sent you a picture of the iron pile there behind.
Yeah, I
the Boy
mentioned
Scout
that to
cabin.
him.
As far as I'm concerned, if you pile it up like that, just get it out of there. Haul it off for scrap.
We let it build up until we can take loads
I
out.
mean, if this was somebody's house, we would be on them just like that. I mean, we ought to practice that on our own property.
We do. Once we get enough to take to scrap, we do. And the only way to get those pictures are to come onto our property. We've had people go inside where it says government property, where you're not supposed to go in and take pictures of that pile and say, this is ridiculous, but you can't even see it from the road.
Is it profitable? Do we make money? I mean, iron's not worth anything?
Irons come up some, but it's still not
Yeah.
great.
I mean, I'm kind of getting to, is it worth our guys' time to even haul it, or can we
It's
get some?
$80 a ton.
How many tons do we wait till it's built? How many?
And is there any reason why we can't have an empty scrap tub sitting there for all that stuff instead of just piling up on the ground?
No, I mean, I don't know if we got any old we probably don't have any old trailers sitting around that we
Behind the
don't
Boy Scout
use.
cabin.
Oh.
I don't know, I mean, cause that's what I've used for my iron, is just an old junky trailer, and I
I
load
don't
it
know
up and I haul it
how
off.
big of a pile you're gonna have on there, but it's pretty big already.
It's getting decent sized, I
Yep.
would say.
It's pretty big, or it's getting up there, but when it gets to a certain size, we do haul it off and take care of it.
That's all I got.
Alright. Parker?
Nothing right now.
Okay. Colleen? Kevin?
I done hit all my stuff already, buddy.
I don't have anything.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?